Hi, this is Dave from Free Run Speed. Today I'm going to talk to you about the Stryd Power Meter, but I'm not going to give you a total review of it. I'm just going to talk about how I'm using it. I've got a massive amount of history on using technology for running. Started with a polar heart rate monitor that was about the same size as this iPhone that sat on your wrist. And then in my retail world, working for the largest running retail company in the country, I was in charge not only of running shoes, but also of accessories, which the most important accessories were the heart rate monitors and then eventually speed and distance monitors. So having that amount of insight into technology for runners, I saw this come along a few years back. It wasn't ready for the market. It is now getting ready for the market, and I do believe that eventually this will be the tool every runner uses to measure what they feel out there on the road or the trails. At the same time, if you are a MAF method of running, this tool will help you maintain MAF pace throughout your run better than your heart rate monitor. The reason I say that is because your heart rate is so dependent on outside factors. Are you dehydrated? Is it hot outside? Is there other conditions out there that are driving heart rate? Maybe it's your total fatigue. This gives you the real number. So if you want to run in zone 1 and zone 2, all you got to do is know what your power number is and run there. And you'll be able to maintain it a lot easier than you can a specific heart rate. And then you can measure your heart rate at the end and you'll find out, oh, it actually works. Do you have a satellite radio in your car? Maybe Sirius satellite radio? You ever notice that it cuts out on a regular basis when you go under a bridge or maybe you drive by a really tall building or whatever? Your GPS unit does the same thing. You don't ever see it, you don't ever hear it, but it's doing the same thing. This, because it sits on your running shoe and it's not looking up at a satellite, it's doing the measurements on its own through an accelerometer, actually measures speed and distance more accurately than a GPS unit. And that's a proven fact. Also, if you're on Zwift and you're running on treadmill, it's known this is the item that you want to have. I don't run on treadmills, I don't run on Zwift, so I don't pay attention, but I do know that this Stryd pod is what you want because it's going to be most accurate and it will talk to your Zwift account. Lastly, before I go through my data, there's one guy that I think dreams in running power. His name is Jim Vance. I'll put a link in an interview he did with Triathlon Terran on the podcast. That's all you need to listen to. You listen to Jim Vance talk about this unit and why you want to use it, and you'll be convinced that it's something to look for in the future when you decide it's time to upgrade how you measure your running. I'm going to talk about 3 runs that I've done in the last week and give you just the raw numbers that came from my Stryd Power Meter. The first is last Tuesday where I did a workout, 3 by 10 minutes of tempo. If you look into the workout, you'll see just by pure pace that I increased the tempo on each one of those 10-minute sections. So I don't have it in front of me, but I think I started at 7:10 pace for the first section of tempo, and by the third section I was running 6:20 pace. My normalized power, and that's the number you want to look at, normalized power is taking the entire run and normalizing the power across it. It's not an average. It is taking the entire run and normalizing it. Those of you that know power for cycling, you understand normalized power, doing the same thing in running. My normalized power was 241, which puts it in roughly zone 3. So that was the output for the entire run. That doesn't mean I ran in zone 3 the entire time, but my total output for the entire run was in zone 3. My watts per kilogram, so that's the number of watts per kilogram body weight, was 3.7. My heart rate was 146. Again, 146 puts it in zone 3. The second run was on Sunday. It was 2 hours long. The first hour was with a buddy. He was running quite slow. And then the second hour was on my pace. What I didn't talk about is cadence. That I know I need to work on. My cadence on Tuesday was 80. That's a single leg. My normalized power, 208 versus 241. So a much easier run from an output standpoint. Even though the run was 2 hours long, my normalized power was 208, so it was a much easier run. My average heart rate was 137. Again, easier, but you'll understand that it was high for that power number. My watts per kilogram, 3.1 versus 3.7 on Tuesday. My cadence for that run was 80. So 80 for tempo and 80 for the long run on the trails. Now, why did I talk about that heart rate being high? Because it was brutally hot. By the time I finished, the sun was beating down on me and it was 85 degrees. And it was only 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was a really, really hot run and it started fairly humid. So my heart rate was actually high for that kind of run because it wasn't a hard run. But I got slightly dehydrated and my heart rate creeped up. So finally to today. I knew that I had put in a bunch of work last week. I knew that I needed more time to recover. So I switched up my runs. I did my fairly easy steady state run today, basically flat. And I'm going to do my harder workout on Thursday, where typically I do the harder stuff on Tuesday and the easier on Thursday. So I needed more time to recover. My run today was 55 minutes long. My cadence was 78, so it was actually a little low. Again, I know I need to work on cadence. My normalized power was 225. And why it was 225 is because I watched it. And I'll get to that. My watts per kilogram was 3.4. So higher than when on the long run. And my heart rate was 135. Again, lower than the 137 on Sunday. Those numbers should have been flipped a little bit. That long run should have been even lower than the 135. So why did I actually watch my power number today versus not even paying attention to it the other 2 days? Or most of the running that I do, I don't ever look at my watch. I just run by feel. Why did I watch it today? One, I knew I was worn out. I knew that long run in the heat drained me. I also knew that the miles that I did last week drained me. So I had those two things going against me. I did not sleep well last night. I got 6 hours of sleep, which is ridiculous. So I woke up and I'm like, I'm not going to run by feel today. I'm not going to look at my heart rate. I'm going to look at the power number, and I'm only going to run on the power number. Zone 2. I'm not going to let it get out of zone 2. And that's what I'm going to run. So that's what I did. The result. The run felt okay. Nothing stressful, nothing hard, nothing... Just that I knew my legs were tired. That's all. What does Stryd tell me? I'm going to read directly what Stryd is telling me. Your running stress is quickly adding to your fatigue. With proper recovery, it will contribute to your fitness. What's that telling me? Is I probably shouldn't have gone out for an hour today. I probably should have cut it to a half hour, taken a little bit easier, let my body recover a little bit more. Now I know. I know what that feeling looks like. I know what the running looks like. And now I'm going to watch what it says about my stress level. And I'm going to watch it get lower and lower. That's how I'm using the Stryd Power Meter. Link below if you want to learn other ways to use it. I'll keep you updated. Have a great run today.